Katharine Hepburn, May 12, 1907 to June 29, 2003, was an American actress in film, stage, and television. Her career as a Hollywood leading lady spanned over 60 years. She was known for her headstrong independence, spirited personality, and outspokenness, cultivating a screen persona that matched this public image, and regularly playing strong-willed, sophisticated women. Her work was in a range of genres, from screwball comedy to literary drama, and earned her various accolades, including 4 Academy Awards for Best Actress, a record for any performer. In 1999, Hepburn was named the greatest female star of classic Hollywood cinema by the American Film Institute. Raised in Connecticut by wealthy, progressive parents, Hepburn began to act while at Bryn Mawr College. Favorable reviews of her work on Broadway brought her to the attention of Hollywood. Her early years in film brought her international fame, including an Academy Award for Best Actress for her third film, Morning Glory, 1933. But this was followed by a series of commercial failures culminating in the critically lauded box office failure Bringing Up Baby, 1938. Hepburn masterminded her own comeback, buying out her contract with RKO Radio Pictures and acquiring the film rights to the Philadelphia Story, which she sold on the condition that she be the star. That comedy film was a box office success and landed her a 3rd Academy Award nomination. In the 1940s, she was contracted to Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, where her career focused on an alliance with Spencer Tracy. The screen partnership spanned 26 years and produced 9 films. Hepburn challenged herself in the latter half of her life as she tackled Shakespearean stage productions and a range of literary roles. She found a niche playing middle-aged spinsters, such as in The African Queen, 1951, a persona the public embraced. Hepburn received 3 more Academy Awards for her performances in Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, 1967, The Lion in Winter, 1968, and On Golden Pond, 1981. In the 1970s, she began appearing in television films, which later became her focus. She made her final screen appearance at the age of 87. After a period of inactivity and ill health, Hepburn died in 2003 at the age of 96. Hepburn shunned the Hollywood publicity machine and refused to conform to society's expectations of women, famously wearing trousers before they were fashionable for women. She was briefly married as a young woman, but thereafter lived independently. With her unconventional lifestyle and the independent character she brought to the screen, Hepburn epitomized the modern woman in the 20th century United States and is remembered as an important cultural figure. Early life and education. Katharine Hepburn was born on May 12, 1907, in Hartford, Connecticut, the second of 6 children. Her parents were Thomas Norval Hepburn, 1879–1962, a urologist at Hartford Hospital, and Catherine Martha Houghton Hepburn, 1878–1951, a feminist campaigner. Both parents fought for social change in the U.S. Thomas Hepburn helped establish the New England Social Hygiene Association, which educated the public about venereal disease, while the elder Catherine headed the Connecticut Woman Suffrage Association and later campaigned for birth control with Margaret Sanger. As a child, Hepburn joined her mother on several votes for women demonstrations. The Hepburn children were raised to exercise freedom of speech and encouraged to think and debate on any topic they wished. Her parents were criticized by the community for their progressive views, which stimulated Hepburn to fight against barriers she encountered. Hepburn said she realized from a young age that she was the product of 2 very remarkable parents, and credited her enormously lucky upbringing with providing the foundation for her success. She remained close to her family throughout her life. The young Hepburn was a tomboy who liked to call herself Jimmy and cut her hair short. Thomas Hepburn was eager for his children to use their minds and bodies to the limit, and taught them to swim, run, dive, ride, wrestle, and play golf and tennis. Golf became a passion of Hepburn's. She took daily lessons and became very adept, reaching the semi-final of the Connecticut Young Women's Golf Championship. She loved swimming in Long Island Sound and took ice-cold baths every morning in the belief that the bitterer the medicine, the better it was for you. Hepburn was a fan of movies from a young age, and went to see one every Saturday night. She would put on plays and perform for her neighbors with friends and siblings for 50 cents a ticket to raise money for the Navajo people. In March 1921, Hepburn, 13, and her 15-year-old brother Tom were visiting New York, staying with a friend of their mother's in Greenwich Village over the Easter break. On March 30th, Hepburn discovered the body of her adored older brother dead from an apparent suicide. He had tied a curtain tie around a beam and hanged himself. The Hepburn family denied it was suicide and maintained that Tom's death must have been an experiment that had gone wrong. The incident made the teenage Hepburn nervous, moody, and suspicious of people. She shied away from other children, dropped out of Oxford school, and was tutored privately. For many years she used Tom's birthday, November 8th, as her own. It was not until her 1991 autobiography Me, Stories of My Life, that Hepburn revealed her true birth date. In 1924 Hepburn was admitted to Bryn Mawr College. She initially agreed to attend the institution to satisfy her mother, who had studied there, but ultimately found the experience to be fulfilling. It was the first time she had been in school for several years, and she was self-conscious and uncomfortable with her classmates. She struggled with the scholastic demands of university, and once was suspended for smoking in her room. Hepburn was drawn to acting, but roles in college plays were conditional on good grades. Once her marks had improved, she began performing regularly. She performed the lead role in a production of The Woman in the Moon in her senior year, and the positive response it received cemented Hepburn's plans to pursue a theatrical career. She graduated with a degree in history and philosophy in June 1928. Career: breaking into theater, 1928-1932. Hepburn left university determined to become an actress. The day after graduating, she traveled to Baltimore to meet Edwin H. Knopf, who ran a successful stock theater company. Impressed by her eagerness, Knopf cast Hepburn in his current production The Czarina. She received good reviews for her small role, and the printed word described her performance as arresting. She was given a part in the following week's show, but her second performance was less well received. She was criticized for her shrill voice, and so left Baltimore to study with a voice tutor in New York City. Knopf decided to produce The Big Pond in New York, and appointed Hepburn the understudy to the leading lady. A week before opening, the lead was fired and replaced with Hepburn, which gave her a starring role only 4 weeks into her theater career. On opening night, she turned up late, mixed her lines, tripped over her feet, and spoke too quickly to be understood. She was immediately fired, and the original leading lady rehired. Undeterred, Hepburn joined forces with the producer Arthur Hopkins and accepted the role of a schoolgirl in These Days. Her Broadway debut came on November 12, 1928, at the Court Theater, but reviews for the show were poor, and it closed after 8 nights. Hopkins promptly hired Hepburn as the lead understudy in Philip Barry's play Holiday. In early December, after only 2 weeks, she quit to marry Ludlow Ogden Smith, a college acquaintance. She planned to leave the theater behind, but began to miss the work and quickly resumed the understudy role in Holiday, which she held for 6 months. In 1929, Hepburn turned down a role with the Theatre Guild to play the lead in Death Takes a Holiday. She felt the role was perfect, but again she was fired. She went back to the Guild and took an understudy role for minimum pay in A Month in the Country. In the spring of 1930, Hepburn joined the Berkshire Playhouse Theatre Company in Stockbridge, Massachusetts. She left halfway through the summer season and continued studying with a drama tutor. In early 1931, she was cast in the Broadway production of Art and Mrs. Bottle. She was released from the role after the playwright took a dislike to her, saying she looks a fright, her manner is objectionable, and she has no talent. But Hepburn was rehired when no other actress could be found. It went on to be a small success. Hepburn appeared in a number of plays with the Summer Stock Company in Ivoryton, Connecticut, and she proved to be a hit. During the summer of 1931, Philip Barry asked her to appear in his new play, The Animal Kingdom, alongside Leslie Howard. They began rehearsals in November, Hepburn feeling sure the role would make her a star. But Howard disliked the actress, and again she was fired. When she asked Barry why she had been let go, he responded, "Well, to be brutally frank, you weren't very good." This unsettled the self-assured Hepburn, but she continued to look for work. She took a small role in an upcoming play, but as rehearsals began, she was asked to read for the lead in the Greek fable The Warrior's Husband. The Warrior's Husband proved to be Hepburn's breakout performance. Biographer Charles Hyam states that the role was ideal for the actress, requiring an aggressive energy and athleticism, and she enthusiastically involved herself with its production. The play opened March 11, 1932, at the Morosco Theater on Broadway. Hepburn's first entrance called for her to leap down a narrow stairway with a stag over her shoulder, wearing a short silver tunic. The show ran for 3 months, and Hepburn received positive reviews. Richard Garland of the New York World Telegram wrote, "It's been many a night since so glowing a performance has brightened the Broadway scene." Hollywood success, 1932–1934. A scout for the Hollywood agent Leland Hayward spotted Hepburn's appearance in The Warrior's Husband and asked her to test for the part of Sidney Fairfield in the upcoming RKO film A Bill of Divorcement. Director George Cukor was impressed by what he saw. "There was this odd creature," he recalled. "She was unlike anybody I'd ever heard." He particularly liked the manner in which she picked up a glass. "I thought she was very talented in that action." Offered the role, Hepburn demanded $1,500 a week, a large amount for an unknown actress. Cukor encouraged the studio to accept her demands, and they signed Hepburn to a temporary contract with a 3-week guarantee. RKO head David O. Selznick recounted that he took a tremendous chance in casting the unusual actress. Hepburn arrived in California in July 1932, at 25 years old. She starred in A Bill of Divorcement opposite John Barrymore, but showed no sign of intimidation. Although she struggled to adapt to the nature of film acting, Hepburn was fascinated by the industry from the start. The picture was a success, and Hepburn received positive reviews. Mordaunt Hall of the New York Times called her performance exceptionally fine. Miss Hepburn's characterization is one of the finest seen on the screen. The Variety review declared, "Standout here is the smash impression made by Katharine Hepburn in her first picture assignment. She has a vital something that sets her apart from the picture galaxy." On the strength of A Bill of Divorcement, RKO signed her to a long-term contract. George Cukor became a lifetime friend and colleague. He and Hepburn made 10 films together.